Welcome. So recently, I was noticing on my phone a report, and usually I don't read news reports that just from the feed or that shows up on Apple News or whatever. But I paid attention because it said that teachers were surveyed anonymously to give feedback on why they think their students in today's classes in elementary school are underperforming or falling back or compared to previous generations not um, measuring up, so to speak. So it was a critique of our children once again. As normal, children are tested in the school system, they are criticized, they're judged, and this is nothing new. If you go throughout history, it's always been. Now they're comparing back to the old days, which would be probably when I was a child. When I was a child, it was compared to how children are doing in China or Japan. There are always these unnecessary markers measuring human quality that have no bearing on really what a human is here to be. Human existence is really not a marker or measurement for what's important. Instead, it's a bunch of nonsense, and it just keeps, whether it's standardized testing, California achievement test, or now comparing country by country and how they're doing in technology versus mathematics versus if creative arts are even important and should they be in school. It's always been that kind of world, unfortunately. And this article, and today just made me feel like enough is enough. People have to realize that the world is not supposed to stay the same. So, for example, teachers were recently given the floor to anonymously talk about why they think children are ridiculously unprepared for life or less able to do simple things such as tying shoes, zipping up coats, or handwriting. Those are three things that we may be doing away with anyway in the future. They are man-made techniques, rituals, products. Who says that being a human means you are underperforming or not good enough or not reaching some kind of milestone because you don't tie your shoes, zip up your coat, or write with your hand? You type a mile a minute. This is the new world. We type now. We have touch screens now. In the world where that technology was not invented or wasn't available, you had to function another way. And it's like, really, these children are much more aware, maybe sensitively, about what's important in the world. Maybe they're picking up on things that even adults have not picked up on. I know when I was a child, that was the case. Adults really did hone in on matters that was not as important to being a human being. In fact, it was inhibiting them, prohibiting them, limiting them from reaching levels that they should have been focusing on, like how to be a better person. Instead of judging Marcia's daughter or Connie's daughter, how about trying to not even help? They don't even need your help. Do something for yourself that's more productive, focusing in on you. This society will keep continuing to judge until we realize what's most important is watching our own backyard, making sure our own yard is clean and safe, and, growing and prosperous and loving and supportive. And then everything else will take care of itself. If you're going to lend a hand to someone, that's one thing. But most of the time, even with that, it's about just being able to go back and judge or say to someone that you had to help. You know what I mean? The ego has really run rampant. And it's what it keeps coming back to. The ego. So when we look at our children, back to, focusing on them, don't see them as someone who should know how to do this because we did it 50 years ago. Look at what can they do? What are they doing? What are they expressing? What are they existing that you couldn't as a kid? and you wish that you could, or you just didn't live up to that. And that's okay to admit that too. It's not a contest or a comparison. You know, the world is supposed to get better. It's supposed to improve. We are supposed to learn one generation from the next. They are not supposed to think how you thought, do what you did, or else the world would stay the same. And that is simple mathematics. So with that, let's jump into these cards. I'm going to start with the tarot. I've been having fun with the tarot this week. And then I'll pull a few oracles. We have coming out Nine of Wands with the Two of Cups. Resilience. Two of Cups, two people, a connection, having to be resilient. Okay. Persisting no matter what. Okay. United. The Two of Cups. A resilient union. Perhaps. Nine of Swords in the reverse. So I'm saying, okay, that's behind you now. Sleepless nights, stress, worrying, concern. Now I'm asking about this matter with the children. This could be about your children. This could be about you worrying about your children. You as a couple perhaps have been through a lot. I want to keep going. Wow. Two of Wands. So moving forward, planning your path forward is what I'm taking this to be. It's going to be Nine of Swords moving forward because you won't have these sleepless nights, okay? Then we have Five of Wands coming out, but it was on the side. Maybe it wanted to go in the reverse, but it definitely, I'll leave it on its side. Conflict, competition, aggression, tension. I'll take this as tension, okay? It's on its side. You're making a choice. You have a path to move forward with tension or without tension. This is you as a couple, maybe as parents, okay? You have a path forward, which could be less tension, less sleepless nights. It's a choice with that Two of Wands. It's like you're choosing. Strength. Being strong. Now I'm going to cross these, having confidence or courage, power, empowerment as a family. So let's take another deck and expand here on each one. Nine of Wands, Two of Cups we'll start with. Resilience as a couple, as a partnership. You are partners in this. Again, I'm getting caring for your child. You are partners. You against the world, perhaps. Perhaps how the world wants you to parent versus your instincts. Let's skip for the Nine of Wands and the Two of Cups. The King of Swords, the smartest man on the planet. So this Gemini, Aries, Geminis, Aquarius, and Libra, okay? One of your partnership could be King of Swords. And it could be the female. It doesn't have to be the male that's King of Swords. One of you or both of you are embodying intelligence, using your mind, using your intellect over what is being force-fed to you through society, through tradition. You're using your own intelligence, okay, as a couple. And Nine of Swords in the reverse, sleepless nights. What's this? Four of Swords. So that was in the reverse. Now, yeah, hello, is this not the contrast to sleepless? Four of Swords, resting. You can relax now. You're now going to be able to relax, whereas you were not relaxed in the past. I think this is even like relax with your decision, or having more inner peace, even your household being relaxed, like your environment being more relaxed and less tension. Five of Wands came out, and I did say to you that something like out of all of the Five of Wands meanings, I was taking it as intention, and that was on its side. Like, no more of that. I think you're going to see a lot less tension, and that's going to even have your child behave in a more loose, relaxed way, which they may even though the goal no more is to tie shoes and zip a being less tense about it before you're leaving out the door, or that all eyes are on you, that makes you relax and can function how you normally would. A lot of times children get tripped up on being afraid to mess up, whether it's on a test, whether it's in behavior, whether it's being on time. Sometimes you're going to achieve the opposite result by pressuring them or making them feel like there is something to fear and not stepping up or not being normal. I remember even like as a social worker, and this was not even about a case, just a colleague had a child, and she was always on this child to eat what you're served, the old fashioned way of whatever you cooked, whatever. If you don't like carrots, you could be repulsed by carrots. She didn't care, and it became a thing where he knew every meal. Not only were people going to have their eyes on him about eating, he was going to get hollered at about eating. It was going to get cold. They were going to still expect him to eat cold food now you don't want it hot. You're darn sure not going to want it cold. You just don't want it. You know what I mean? But people have been programmed to believe children don't have a choice. Some people. I think we're doing away with that. Thank God. And then to know that you're going to be, I'm not even going to say, what I was aware of. And this, again, mind you, was someone who was certified, took child safety laws and, childhood development. She should have known better, is my point. If you don't know better at this point, what about your average person who is not educated about children and development? But she would make this a ritual. She and her husband, again, two powerful people over a child. It's even bullying. And they're supposed to eat. And then guess what happened? When he wasn't able to keep his food down, he would be punished. I think that's abusive. That's the way I would see it. And did I try to speak to her? Yes. Was I told at that time, you don't have children, so you don't understand? That was always the case, with people having that excuse. You don't have children, so you don't understand. How about I have love? And whether you have children or not, when you have love in your heart, even without, again, being certified or learning anything, just that human to human, love to love, you're just doing without it. And a lot of people are. How do you teach someone to love? If you don't know how to love, how do you teach that to someone? But anyway, your household may be more relaxed with you not insisting on these measures, or your child measuring up to these impossible, unnecessary, rigid ways of living. So Two of Wands, you're planning, making a decision. I hope you're going to make the right decision. Ooh, Queen of Pentacles. This may be a Queen of Pentacles, King of Swords household, okay? So that's Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. Don't have to be. You could just be very practical, very nurturing. Queen of Pentacles is not stressed enough. She has a lot of material world, earthly abundance, but she's also very nurturing and generous, unless she's in the reverse. This one is in the upright. So she's very nurturing. You're a nurturing mom or a nurturing female, feminine energy in the home. Protective, I would even say, with this Queen of Pentacles, making sure that someone's comfortable, that kind of protection. Like, are you okay? Do you have everything you need? This is a relaxed, loving environment, comfortable. And that's your path forward. You're choosing that. for your family, for everyone in your family, or even visitors that come to your home. In fact, this may be showing others another way to exist, another way to live. And then with the Five of Wands on the side, less tension in the home. Where there was tension, it's less now. Let's see. And it fell on the floor. Two of Swords. At the edge of the vast sea of space, she looked inward. Okay, I was going to say blocking out tension, but no, I digress. I'm corrected. Without seeing your way forward, you had to look inward. As far as there's no blueprint for you. You were not raised. You or the King of Swords. Neither of you come from a background which raised you to know how to have a harmonious home. So maybe you're unlearning what you were taught, and now your children will benefit from you. You didn't know before. Nobody can blame you for that. But once you knew that something wasn't working and that your child wasn't benefiting from this rigid lifestyle and these societal pressures, you decided to take things, even without knowing what it's going to look like forward. You just had the Two of Wands, choosing to move forward with a blindfold on. But you just know your heart and your intuition is saying, this is the way to go. A harmonious home never hurt no one. That's what you know. Beautiful. And strength. Your family having the confidence and the power now. What do we have for strength? Oh, my stars. Emperor. Under the strength, a power like unto a god. I'm taking this as in your home has the love. God is love. The strength of your home is the power of God, love. That's what you're achieving here. That is heaven on earth. That is what everybody really is striving to achieve, thinking it's going to take stacks of money, investments, stepping on other people to get ahead, which they're actually going in the wrong direction. Money is not the problem. It's how they're doing it to get to that money. Most likely is the problem. But you're choosing another path. You don't have a blueprint with that Two of Swords. And it's still going to lead you ahead to the power of God, the power of love. Wow, this is so beautiful. All right, so I'm going to end this with an angel message. March 18th and March 31st are birthdays, or maybe since that's this month, maybe those are important days for you. Confirmation 2222, maybe twos are important for you. Your angels and guides walk beside you, affirming that your energy is in resonance with your highest timeline. Trust that this moment is divinely placed, for you are exactly where you are meant to be. I believe this is confirmation on your path. That Two of Swords is really powerful in this reading. Blindfold on. You weren't shown, but you're going by faith. And divine is saying, this is confirmation. You're doing the right thing. Beautiful. And with that, I will see you in another reading.